Oh my god, thank you so much. I've been monologuing to myself for the past 7 minutes. Greetings from the lab, Hunter. Okay, so okay, so I'll start again from the top. So basically, this is the guide that I use to study Japanese. I posted the link in the chat. I over the past few months, I basically did a lot of research on how I wanted to study Japanese, and there's a bunch of different guides out there, but I found out that a lot of them have common elements that basically lead into this one common guide. So over here is a table of contents. I can just go through each element, because this actually is pretty straightforward. Like the zero knowledge of Japanese, this segment over here could probably be completed within 1 week for anyone that's new to studying Japanese. Probably 1 to 2 weeks. If you've been reading manga or watching anime, even if it's English translated, and you like pick up some common words that you're hearing over and over again, you might be able to, if you're consciously trying to learn those new words that you're being exposed to, then you might be able to clear this phase in maybe like a week or even less, depending on how much of a solid foundation you have. Like if you're trying to read signs in hiragana and katakana, then you basically have already covered this much already. So learn to read hiragana, learn to read katakana, very basic things. Shouldn't take that long if you dedicate some time to it every day. Basic Japanese pronunciation, this thing never stops, pretty much. You will never stop this until, not when you're called Nihongo Jozu, but when you are asked how long have you been living in Japan. So learning to type is basically very easy. If you know how the word sounds in English, then you just type the same thing in a Japanese keyboard, and then the Japanese IME will automatically convert it into hiragana or katakana, depending on which option you choose. Kanji is basically if you know what the kanji sounds like, you basically type it out and then you press spacebar, and you cycle through different kanji until you get to the one you need. So this section over here shouldn't take too long. I'm basically stuck in this section, the beginner of Japanese, and I'm expecting this section to take me probably at least a good part of a year, 1 to 2 years. So I'm still doing the first section over here. This is going to take a while, because the primary thing over here is using a spaced repetition system for vocabulary. If you have considered learning Japanese, then you may have heard of Anki, which is basically a flashcard system which does something very similar to Wanikani. Anki is basically a system where it uses spaced repetition system, which basically means that you basically set yourself up with flashcards, and every time you get a flashcard right, then the space between each repetition, so the next time you see the flashcard, gets increased. So by doing this, you can expose yourself to the same words over different intervals, because if you just basically end up reviewing the same word over and over again at a fixed interval of like 1 week each, eventually your vocabulary is going to get so big that you're going to have so many reviews in 1 week that it's not going to be very effective. Also because you're going to have diminishing returns. Because if you keep reviewing the same word over and over again for every week, then after a certain amount of weeks, that word is basically just going to be firmly implanted in your head, and the subsequent reviews every week is going to be very, very useless. So I use Wanikani because you can find Wanikani decks in Anki for free. It's just that I prefer to have an online based progression system, because I sometimes do my reviews on my phone, or I can do them on PC as well. Because I swap between devices, I prefer to keep it this way. But if you stick to mainly one device, then Anki is also a very viable way. And because Anki is open sourced, and there are plenty of decks out there readily available, you can pick the decks that you need to basically supplement your studies as well. And there's also Anki decks out there which supplement your Wanikani experience to add more words that are commonly used but don't show up in Wanikani as well. So the good strategy would be to basically use a mix of both systems, but currently I'm focusing my entire time on Wanikani. So this is basically the collecting vocabulary part, where you do lessons where you get introduced to radicals, to kanji, and then vocabulary afterwards. And then these reviews are basically, like I said, the spaced repetition element of the SRS system. Now, I have 400 reviews over here, but this is not what you want to see, because I haven't had the time to really do too many reviews over the past 2 to 3 weeks-ish, because I was focusing primarily on my stream. But now that I have a lot of my stream assets saved up, this number is probably going to be hovering at 100 or less, assuming I check it every day, which I'm planning on doing. So there's collecting vocabulary, excuse me, and then there's processing, create a habit where every day, week, or month, depends on how much new vocabulary you want to introduce to your routine. You go through this list and put them into your SRS of choice. Your SRS of choice is likely going to be Wanikani or Anki for most people. And then you add the words to your SRS as you learn them, and then that's basically how you drill the vocabulary into your head. And because Wanikani doesn't have a system where you can add your own words, that's when Anki comes in handy. Like, for example, if you're watching anime or reading manga and you see a new word and you want to memorize that word, then you can add it to Anki, and then you let Anki's SRS system take over for you, and then you basically just have to not cheat yourself. Like, if you see a word, don't Google it because you think that you know it. If you don't know it, then assume that you don't know it. Don't cheat yourself. You're only lying to yourself, and you're only gonna hurt your own progress. So you wanna build up your vocabulary slowly using this way. And then beginning Japanese grammar. Grammar comes after the fact, when you're probably 2 to 4 plus months into your Japanese studies. This is because if you wanna, yeah, this quote is key. When learning something new, you should already know 80% of it. So this applies to other concepts as well, not just when you're learning Japanese. Like, for example, during university, I often saw people jump into new classes where they didn't know 80% of it because their previous classes were poor at teaching it, and then they just get completely lost because at a certain point, if you don't know enough of it, you don't know what you don't know. And then when that piece of information comes up in a later part where you need to know it, you end up tracking way back, and then you basically just rewind all your progress. So if you want to be efficient with your studies, this is a good baseline to stick to. You should already know 80% of it. So that means each thing you learn should be 20% or smaller incremental step. So I believe it's mentioned somewhere over here, where if you want to get started with learning Japanese textbooks, you should probably get to Wanikani level 10-ish. Now what that usually means is, for level 10 radicals, kanji, and vocabulary, you're going to want to know pretty much everything over here. This is only level 10, there's 9 other levels like this too. So you're going to want to build a solid foundation before you get into learning grammar. Because when you're introduced to grammar, you're going to be introduced to full sentences, and you're not going to be able to understand what the sentences mean. But that's really important. And as for a beginner's Japanese textbook / program, I actually have Genki, which is all highly recommended for Japanese beginners in the West, or more for English speakers, I guess. So I have Genki. I'm waiting. I got it on sale, but I'm waiting for me to catch up to Wanikani first before I tackle the textbook. And then everything beyond this, I haven't researched too deeply, but then it goes into basically answering Japanese language questions, which is basically finding native speakers to help supplement your studies by having someone native to ask and get answers for basic questions that you might have. Things that, because really at this point, machine translations are still very iffy. Alternative learning Japanese grammar on your own. That's basically what I'm going to be doing with my textbook. Optional finding Japanese tutor, yep. For this, the way I wanted to supplement this was to basically communicate more with Japanese VTubers. I think that this would be a really interesting way to basically do cross-cultural pollination, I guess is one way to call it. Basically branch out with, network with other VTubers. I can teach them English and they can teach me Japanese. I think it'll be pretty fun to have conversational partners overseas. The timing is gonna be kind of hard because there is a 20-hour, no, not 20 hour, there's like a 10-hour difference between us. But over the weekends, I believe that I'll be able to make something work. Suggested books and resources, this is basically extra stuff. And an intermediate level Japanese is basically when you have to continue whatever you were doing before and then also throw in native talking as well. So this section is pretty short, but yeah, so to get on with it, I wanted to basically give an overview of how I study Japanese, and then I wanted to get into my reviews, and then I wanted to just hit up Duolingo. I started my I didn't do anything. I toggled on Duolingo Pro. But when it comes to this, all this is stuff that I already know already, so I'm gonna be speedrunning this pretty much, RTA style. But for now, I wanna just get through my reviews. There's 438 of them. So I'll do this for a little while first, and then afterwards I'll show you what lessons kind of look like in this app. So this one means entry. Enter, I think? So if you get it right, whether you get it right or wrong, you can check out the item info after you type in an answer, and then it gives you the meaning, mnemonic, the kanji and the radical are the same. Make sure you know the radicals, this is important. For someone starting at Ground Zero at Wanikani, you should read everything in these info blurbs because they give a lot of information on how you're going to approach studying Japanese in the future as well. So the ones with the pink background over here is basically for not vocabulary. It's for kanji, and for the ones with the, I think this is purple, right? I'm somewhat colorblind. I think this is purple, but with a purple background, it's vocabulary. So this is stone. Ishi. So for the vocabulary, it actually gives you audio feedback as well if you're getting it right or wrong. So that's also another way to help you memorize important words. Yeah. This is outside. So the reason why these onyomi readings are important is because you're gonna see these kanji used in conjunction with other kanji to form vocabulary. And oftentimes they use one form of their onyomi readings. For beginner Japanese learners, this is going to be incredibly confusing, or thinking why do you need to learn two different forms of reading? But then these onyomi readings are going to be incredibly helpful down the line when you start to sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, when these kanji start appearing multiple vocabulary words, it's gonna help memorizing the readings of the vocabulary extremely easy. How much does Wanikani cost? About this. Wanikani pricing. The base price will now be $9 per month, $90 a year, and $300 for a lifetime. But there is some ways that you can save your money. For example, during Christmas seasons, they usually have major discounts on all the plans. So I believe I got the yearly plan for a big discount. And if you're serious about keeping up with Wanikani, and you basically do your reviews daily, and you don't get much wrong, you're a somewhat fast learner, then there's a good chance that you might be able to finish Wanikani in 2 years. And that's gonna boil down to, even without a discount, that's gonna be around $190, right? But there's also apparently another offer where if you finish the entire course in the 2 years that I mentioned, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be in 2 years, but if you finish the entire course, I heard that you can upgrade to a lifetime subscription for $60 because you're not really being introduced to any new content. So depending on your learning speed, you might be able to just study for 2 years with a $90 discounts, or because I started on Christmas time, around that time, if I can do 2 years of discounted studies plus the $60 lifetime upgrade, then I might be able to get it for much less. So I could get it for around half the price of a lifetime subscription if I keep up with my studies. But if you don't have time to do as many reviews and stuff like that, then a discounted lifetime option might be worth it around Christmas time. But I believe they do sales on other times of the year as well. But because I got it during Christmas time, that's the... And I also always get emails during Christmas time as well. Yeah, so you could get it for less. I say keep your eyes out. I believe the first 3 levels of Wanikani are also free to try out. So there's always that option as well. So you could try it out first, see if you like it. If it works for you, then you can commit to a year. And then maybe during Christmas time, you might be able to extend for another year or something like that. That's the kind of recommendation I would make. Or alternatively, if you're tight on a budget, I'd say stick to Anki. And then use Anki, and then download a Wanikani deck, and then just basically pace yourself through that instead. So... Oh yeah, there's also show all information, which gives you more information. This is basically everything that you would learn in a lesson, basically put into one slide. Actually, for the sake of this stream, because reviews are kind of boring, I'll do this off stream. I want to show you what a lesson would look like. So I would start a session, and you can change this option in the settings, but I personally have it set to the default where it gives you 5 different radicals, kanji, or vocabulary per session. Granted, you can just keep doing these over and over again. Like, after this lesson, I have 13 more kanji and vocabulary left. So in total of 4 sessions, I could basically do all that I need to do. Actually, no, this is including the ones I have over here. So in 3 lesson sessions, I can basically finish off all my new quote-unquote unlocks. So for this one, it is say. This kanji is composed of one radical. Can you guess what radical fits into this kanji? So this is a radical. Radicals are often used... You can see radicals being used in kanji. And these are basically going to be like the building blocks. Because... I don't want to give it the equivalent of an alphabet because that's basically what hiragana and katakana is. But for building kanji, you could think of this as... You could kind of think of it as like an alphabet as well. No, it's less correct to say it's like an alphabet, but it's more like a building block. So you use these building blocks to build kanji. But this one, thankfully, is just the same as the radical. So it's basically the same as having like the letter A represent the word A. The say radical and the say kanji are the same. Know your radicals, yo. This is very important. So to say, it's gen or gon. If you're not sure what to say, think about Genji and ask yourself what would Genji say. So these reading mnemonics are extremely helpful if you want to try to memorize all your readings. Because it gives you like a kind of wacky scenario with various characters that use these words. And you basically have to think of, like, if you think of these scenarios in your head enough times, then you're gonna make that connection, and memorizing is gonna be a lot easier. Genji is a smooth talker. In fact, he can talk his way out of anything. If you can just stay calm and think, what would Genji say before saying anything, you'll probably end up saying something cool instead of something lame. So things like this. And as you go through your lessons, more characters get introduced, and they start embellishing these characters in wackier and crazier ways. It's pretty funny. So this one is forced. The vocabulary is composed of only 1 kanji. Do note that kanji sometimes uses do you know that vocabulary sometimes uses only kanji like this? But there are also cases where multiple kanjis are used, or kanjis are used in conjunction with hiragana or katakana. Not katakana, but most likely hiragana. Yeah. So the synonym is grove. Synonyms are also important because they can mean similar things, but oftentimes there's a slightly different nuance. If you're asked what this kanji is, replying with either one works. You don't have to reply. You don't have to answer all of them. You just have to answer with one of the many synonyms or the actual word itself.
Hayashi.
Hayashi. So it gives all. So when you're learning the word, you also have options of learning two different
Hayashi.
two different ways that it's said. Basically, one with a Tokyo accent female and one with a Tokyo accent male. You won't hear it with other accents. The Tokyo accent is the safest one if you want to learn Japanese. Because there's a good chance that if you're learning Japanese from only anime or something like that, you might have different dialects getting mixed up in your vocabulary. So you might want to, if you get reintroduced to a word that you already thought you know, it would be best for you to try to relearn it in the
Hayashi.
Tokyo accent. I think that's the safest way to say it. Since this word is made up of a single kanji, uses the kunyomi reading. You've already learned this reading through the kanji, so you should be able to read this. And it also gives you contextual sentences. So every morning I walk in the forest. I happen to catch Mrs. Hayashi speeding through the woods and stuff like that. Reading notes, you can add your own reading notes in case you have heard the word in a different context or something and you want to make the connection yourself. Then you could also just do reading notes as well. Do note that it's important to pay attention during these lessons because at the end there's a quiz. It's not like you get penalized for not knowing, for not getting it right the first time when you're finishing these lessons up. But you know, it's a good habit to not get lazy. Body, this vocabulary is composed with one kanji. This will make a lot more sense if I were to start with from level 0. But for the sake of this lesson, because I'm demonstrating how these lessons are constructed, I'll just go through my 5 words. And then I'll move on to Duolingo because I think that's a lot more entertaining for viewing. So in terms of body, there are no synonyms in this case, so I have to memorize this definition exactly. Meaning explanation, the kanji and word are exactly the same, that means they share the same meanings as well. True. Parts of speech, noun, adjective.
Karada.
Karada. So if you watch anime, then you might already know this word. This is gonna happen a lot, especially with the earlier vocab.
Karada.
So it's important that you learn these proper Tokyo accents. Since the word is made up of a single kanji, it should be the kunyomi reading. Blah, 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 blah. You have your body, it's nice, looking good. What would really mess up your body? It would be a car rider. Karada. Karaida. So it gives you these kind of wacky situations for you to try to memorize each of these vocabulary words. I'm talking about a dude who is a raider of some sort driving a car. If he runs into your body, you're done for, so watch out for the car raider. Karada. Of course, this mnemonic is only get you close to reading. Hopefully it's close enough to get you the actual reading. Karada. Because this isn't karaida, it's karada, but you get the point. It should be similar enough. If you already have your own way of memorizing these kanji, like for example, you saw it in like big bolded words in a manga panel or something, and you can't get that panel out of your mind, then you don't really need to focus on the mini stories, but it's up to you. It's personal preference. If you already have a solid way of memorizing vocabulary, then you can just stick to that. So the kanji composition of this one uses 2 different kanji, so body and power, to represent physical strength. So a lot of these will make sense in a kind of a roundabout way, like body, power, muscles, physical strength. But sometimes the connection might not be as clear. So in those cases, you might want to basically just relearn it through the meanings that it's trying to tell you over here. So physical power, stamina, endurance, You have your body power, it's just another way to say physical strength. Watch out, if you use too much of your physical strength, you might run out of physical stamina and endurance completely. They're tied together, so make sure you pace yourself. Make sense?
体力
Tairyoku. This is a Jukugo word, which usually means the onyomi readings from the kanji. If you know the readings of the kanji, then you know how to read this as well. So Tai is the kanji reading for the body. And then Yoku is the reading for power over here. So you basically just slap the two together and then you have basically a physical strength. Okay, Tairyoku. So this one's internal, within the body, inside the body, something inside your body. Could be a lot of things. Internal. So this is body and inside.
体内
Tainai. So this is also a Jukugo word where you have two different kanjis slapped together. With its onyomi readings. Tainai. And then you basically end up doing a quiz where you get questioned on the vocabulary meaning and how it's said. So this one is basically a forced. This one is body. Oh, is it Tai? No, it's karada. Karada.
体
And then this is body and strength, so it's physical strength. Tairyoku.
体力
This one is forced. It was the same as the kanji, so hayashi.
林
This one is sei. That's the one with Genji is a smooth talker, so that's how I memorize it. The vocabulary meaning for this one is body. And for example, if I were to get it wrong over here, like if I had to say something internal organs like that, that's not right. So you can say within the body. You don't get punished for getting questions wrong during the lesson. But it's important that you get the item info right. So over here, it's internal, within the body, inside the body, literally body inside, so inside the body. And that's gonna come up later again. So for this one, it's Gen, as in Genji. And this one is physical strength. Within the body. Tainai.
体内
And that's basically how you can continue on with the lessons. And the way that these lessons are set is, at the start of a level, you will be introduced to a bunch of radicals. And then once you basically fill up these little progress bars underneath it by getting it right 5 times in a row, then you will unlock the kanji related to the radicals. And then once you fill up those bars, once you fill up those bars for kanji, you will unlock the words for. You will unlock the vocabulary words that use these kanji, basically. So it's a step-by-step progression system. And at the start, when you're learning these characters, the reviews will come in faster than once a day. So you can, even though like you see like there's 5 steps over here, there's 5 steps for kanji, and there's 5 steps for vocabulary, it is possible to, if you're a fast learner and you're not getting anything wrong, then it is entirely possible that you could probably finish a week. You could finish a level a week, which is where my metric for if you wanted to upgrade to the lifetime subscription at the end of the Wanikani learning, at the end of level 60, you could technically bang it out in just under 2 years, pretty much. But for normal progression, I'm expecting people to take 2 years, 2 or more years. But yeah, if you're really fast, you could technically finish it in 2 years, within 2 years. So that's basically how the lessons go in Wanikani. And about Duolingo, Duolingo itself is not a great way to learn a new language. This isn't really a surprise to anyone that's 1 second. To anyone that's actually considered learning a new language. It's often thrown around on forums and stuff like that, because it's not like Duolingo really teaches you grammar or anything like that. The way that it teaches you vocabulary is also kind of weird because it introduces you to them in complete sentences only. But not Wanikani, Duolingo is a good supplement to alternative learning arrangements, such as Wanikani, Anki, and grammar textbooks like Enki as well. But because I am doing those on the side, and because this level of Japanese is fairly easy for me right now, I thought about just unlocking the levels as I go. Yeah, so white, shiroi.
白い
And also, yeah, it's kind of cheaty this way because sometimes, like, I'm assuming it's a little bit different during the later slides. I heard that Duolingo's difficulty picks up slightly at the end as you progress. But yeah, if you have visual indicators like this,
7
yeah, it's kind of easy to just cheat your way through it.
白
Shiro, white. Write this in Japanese. Aka,
赤 7
nana, 7. Hard work is paying off.
Aka.
Excellent. Aka,
赤はい
hi, yes. Mark the correct meaning. 4, 4,
4
4. Write this in Japanese. 4, 4.
4
10 in a row. Mark the correct meaning. 1 each.
1
1. What's on these is 3. This one.
3
Mark the true meaning. 3, 3.
3
3. 2, 2.
2
2. 2.
2
赤
Aka, red. Which was 1.
1
1. So you could imagine how yeah, I'm just gonna grind these levels off stream probably until it gets to the actual challenging bits. Oh yeah, I forgot that Duolingo gamified their system. So because of the daily streak and stuff like that, if you're a fan, if you've played a lot of MMOs, then you might be able to get yourself set into the rhythm. Track how much you progress since you last scored. Sure, I could try that. Learn the app anywhere. So yeah, because there's a gamified progression system and also with ranked leaderboards based on how much time you put in, basically. For the competitive people, this might be one way to just push a bunch of levels. But yeah, I still wouldn't recommend using Duolingo as a sole learning resource. Because it kind of just throws you in there and it just gives you a bunch of example sentences and you're expected to just know it. But if you're taking Japanese lessons and you want to learn some vocabulary in other various situations, like there's thematic vocabulary for intro, food, time, routines, for these kind of things after you get the basic hiragana, katakana, introduction things. It could be a nice way to supplement your vocabulary. But anything that you learn here with yeah, anything that you learn here, any new words, you might want to consider putting them into your Anki deck. So for the time being, what do I need to reach level 1 in all lessons? Okay, I'll just skip this one.
はじめまして
Hajimemashite. Nice to meet you.
はじめましてマリアです
Nice to meet you, I am Maria. Nice to meet you. I am Maria.
フランス人です
Francejin desu. I am French.
フランス出身です
France
です出身
I'm
出
from.
身出身
Okay, so I guess it does tell you the kanji in this
出
one.
身
I am from France.
アメリカ出身ですアメリカ出身です
Match the pairs.
アメリカ人
American.
べ
We.
が
Shushin.
出身
Shushin.
アメリカ人です
I am American. Match the pairs. So this is basically just matching how it's said and the vocabulary themselves.
アメリカ人
American. Mu.
む
Da.
だで
Shushin.
出身
Shushin. My one little complaint about this is I don't think that it should tell you the pronunciation of the word as you click it the first time. I think it should only tell you after you get the pair right.
はじめましてジョンです
Nice to meet you. I am John. Nice to meet you. I am John.
イギリス人です。
I am British. So one annoying part about Duolingo is the fact that if you want to skip lessons like this at the start, oh yeah, there's this level unlock thing where you can basically skip the 4 lessons entirely and just go straight to the... Yeah, you can jump a level so long as you get less than 4 mistakes. So if your hearts run out, then you're kind of donezo.
学生
Gakusei. Student. Like also, Gakusei, this word, is something that you would see in Wanikani level 4-ish. I think it was level 5. But yeah, your progression is not one-to-one with Wanikani and Duolingo. But that much should be given because they're not really coordinating with each other. But it is something to keep in mind. Select the correct characters for Gakusei.
学生
Like this kind of thing, because it doesn't teach you exactly why Gakusei is like this. If you use Duolingo only for remembering your kanji, then eventually you're gonna see similar looking kanji and you're gonna get lost. So if you don't learn to differentiate between the different kanjis and how they're used in the vocabulary, that's one way where you could really mess up your learning. Because if you end up learning something with a bad habit, it's really hard to get rid of those bad habits. So if you learn something incorrectly, then there's a good chance that it might stay in your head for a very long time. Even though you know the right one, you might have 2 different definitions floating around in your head.
中村
Nakamura. Select the correct characters for Mura. So this is for village.
村村日本出身です
I am from Japan.
日本人です。
I am Japanese. Nihonjin desu.
はじめまして本田です
Nice to meet you. I am Honda. Nice to meet you. I'm Honda.
フランス出身です
I am from France.
学生ですか
Are you a student?
田中さんは日本人です。
Mr. Tanaka is Japanese.
田中さんは学生です。
Mr. Tanaka is a student.
はじめまして、田中です。
Nice to meet you. I'm Tanaka.
はじめまして本田と言います
Nice to meet you. To meet you. My name is Honda.
中国人です。
I am Chinese.
中国
China.
中国出身です
I am from China.
学生です
I'm a student. So basically, if you do that and you get less than 4 things wrong, you can skip a level into level 1. And that's pretty much how it goes. Hi, how's it going? Good, thank you. I just basically went over my Japanese learning strategy, and I also showed off Wanikani, which is a tool that I use to build up my Japanese vocabulary. And now I'm basically just messing around in Duolingo, trying to explore some of its features and maybe unlock this new segment over here so that I can see what these specialized things are about. How long have you been studying Japanese? I've been studying Japanese seriously for the past approximately 4 months, because I picked up Wanikani during the Christmas sale. But before that, I've always been an avid anime and manga watcher, so I did have a somewhat weak foundation of the basics. Because there's a lot of repeated phrases that you hear over and over again that you kind of just dig into your head, right? So there's that, and that's also because I'm fluent in Korean. A lot of the grammar points are extremely similar in Japanese and Korean grammar. So I have a decent foundation with that as well. So I'm just trying to basically focus on building up my vocabulary, and then maybe once it gets to a point where I can hold basic conversations, I might be more active on Japanese Twitter and maybe try to look for other Japanese people to play games with and such. Like, the ping barrier is kind of hard to overcome, but I think for some basic games, I think it'll be pretty fun. I need to work on the kanji. Yeah, that's kind of what everybody gets stuck with. It's such a daunting little process that if you don't really set up like a methodical way to tackle it bit by bit, it's easy to just get discouraged and think that I'm never going to be able to memorize the 2000 basic kanji to pass an N1 test or something like that. Speaking of N tests, in terms of Japanese language proficiency, before I finish Wanikani, I kind of want to try and get tested for N4, but I don't know if they still do testing because of COVID. Yeah, I wanted to get tested for it at around the end of the year, with my endgame goal being an N2 after a few more years of studying. But I'll have to see. I have a feeling I could probably fast track my progress with that if I end up communicating with more native Japanese people, but it's a bit hard with that right now. I'm gonna take N3 or N2 this year, I think. Good luck with that. Are the tests open in your area? Because for me, I don't think they were. But yeah, N3 or N2, yeah, might have to check up on that because of COVID. But N2 would be seriously nice to have, because I heard that that's pretty much the minimum that you would need to basically be able to work in Japan. I'm in New Zealand. I don't know, how's the COVID situation over in New Zealand?
No.
No? Ja.
Sha.
Oh, whoops. It's this one. It's number 4. I made a mistake. I'm speeding too much.
Pe.
Pe. Pe.
Pe.
In a lockdown right now? Yeah, that sounds about right. Scary times we live in, really. Ne. Ru.
Pari.
Paris? Paris? Otherwise under control.
ポルトガル、
スウェーデン。
Sweden.
ハワイ、
Yeah, I'm thankful to have a job working from home, but man, it's been a year rough. It's been a rough year. Yeah, it's been a full year since we went into lockdown, I think. Yeah, because the lockdown really started in March, right? Even though news is floating out earlier. Yeah, I think it was around March. So it's been a year. Although it feels like it's been like 2 or 3. I'll be honest. Hawaii. Hawaii.
インド。
India.
ベルリン、
Berlin.
ワルシャワ、
Warsaw. Okay.
カナダ、
Hey, that's me.
スペイン、
Spain.
エジプト。
Egypt. I'm surprised that it teaches you Warsaw before it teaches you other vocabulary like the major continents. I found that to be pretty funny. Okay, so I have this. Can I unlock this? It's checkpoint 1. Complete this challenge. Oh, okay. Canada nice, my bro lives in Toronto. He's probably a drive away from me. Maybe a long drive. Yeah, I'm not really Toronto, but I am in Ontario, but most people live around the border, around the southern border anyways. I used to live in Japan. Oh wow. You must have had a pretty good big head start when it comes to studying for the N2 or N3 then. How long have you been living in Japan?
Ne.
Select the character for root. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Spain. Spain. Character meaning Europe. Summer. Nuts.
な、
あ、すみません。
Sorry. I lived there for 4 years. Wow. Nana.
7、
インド、
ワルシャワ、
I didn't study much though. But you should still be you should still be conversational, right? And taught. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I could see why. But still, if you're getting set to take the N2 or N3, then you should still be conversational. Yeah, you're conversational. Yeah. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Someone that's lived in Japan for 4 years should obviously be conversational. Unless you are like a hikikomori, but I mean, I wouldn't judge. You've earned 75 EXP today. It's an interesting checkpoint. This progress quiz, I kind of want to see what this is about. Oh, and another interesting thing about Duolingo is this is the second time I'm getting my 14-day trial for Duolingo Plus. I thought it would be like a once per account kind of thing, but I guess if you're away for 2 months, then it just comes back. This path goes northeast. I'm already lost.
この南道は
North.
北東に行きます。
That's right. Tensai.
5分待ってください。
Please wait for 5 minutes. Wait for 5 minutes.
宿題をしました。始まり
Oh.
宿題
Yeah, this feels so cheaty. But because like I don't know these kanji, but yeah.
宿題をしました。
Shukudai wo
しました。
So these kinds of tests, because it gives you like hints, it's kind of misleading, but it is what it is. Is plus any
メニ
good?
ューを見せてください。
Plus basically gives you whatchamacallit? If you're already native, if you're a native if you already speak Japanese, then a lot of the earlier levels in Duolingo are kind of a hassle to just grind through. If you have plus, you can do a feature where you can skip a level entirely by going through a set of questions without getting at least 3 mistakes. So if you want to get to a point, like because you've lived in Japan for 4 years already, you could probably skip most of the levels in Duolingo up until like pretty much the very end, I'm assuming. That's around when it gets to like the business and corporate lingo, etc. I think. Cool, I'm near the end of Duolingo, I think. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so it would let you, but do mind that you still have to do the levels one at a time. So for each node that you saw, like each of the circles, you still have 5 levels that you kind of have to skip through. Though you could probably just breeze through them in like a sitting or so. But it would still take a good couple of hours. But another thing that it can do is this test that I'm doing right now with the progress quest. You don't have this option in the free Duolingo package. Where depending on how many questions you get right in this test, you get evaluated with a level. I don't know what the level exactly means, but I guess I'll find out after this.
メニューを見せてください。
Please show me the menu. Please show me the menu. The library is already closed.
島図書館
図書館は
は
もう
もう閉まりしま
しまいました。
います
しまっています。
います
Yeah. My boyfriend's house is near here.
家
Oops.
橋彼氏の家
彼氏の家は
近く
近くに
にありま
ますす。
手袋は一組いくらですか
手袋は一組
手袋は一組いくらですか
手袋は一組手袋は一組
手袋は一組いくらですか
一組いくらですか
手袋は一組いくらですか
So 手袋 I know is gloves.
手袋は一組いくらですか
So how much is one pair of gloves? Oh. So we'll keep grinding. You just got back into streaming. That's cool. I got into it not long ago. Yeah. I've debuted this character around 2 weeks ago on YouTube. But then I'm seeing the viewership numbers, and it's very different. Because I think YouTube's live streaming viewership is mostly based in the Asian regions. Like, it's pretty evident if you look at the super chat rankings, and if you look at PewDiePie's streaming, he only gets like less than 20k viewers per live stream. Whereas if you look at the big names over on Twitch in the Western audiences, you would see like 160,000 viewers in a IRL chatting stream. And because I mainly cater to Western audiences, for now I've decided to commit to streaming on Twitch. And possibly, maybe after I get affiliate status or something like that, then I might be locked out of streaming on YouTube, but I'm sure I'll be able to make alternate arrangements to try to communicate with JP VTubers over on YouTube. Or in the worst case scenario, we might be able to collab, and then they might be able to gather an audience on YouTube, and I might be able to gather an audience on Twitch, and it might be a mutually beneficial arrangement. There's lots of things to consider as a Westerner trying to interact with more Japanese people, but that's all stuff that
私の雑誌を図
I'm
書館
kind
に
of
返さないで
considering
くだ
for
さい。
things in the future.
私の雑誌を図書館に返さないでください。私の雑誌を図書館に返さないでください。
Please return my magazines to the library. I think that's it.
私の雑誌を図書館に返さないでください。
Oh, please do not return. Kaisanaide. True. Thank you, Tanuki Dog, for following. I hope to see you around in future streams as well. I don't know how often I'll be doing these Japanese learning streams, but probably when I get new lessons, I'll probably do Wanikani streams. Duolingo, I might just be busting out. Actually, yeah. In terms of Duolingo, I'll try to catch up to the levels that I've already completed. Well, not already completed, but the ones that are easy for me. And then I'll probably do these level evaluation tests and new topics that I'm not really familiar with on stream. I think that would make for pretty decent material, I guess. I don't know if I'll be able to stream myself going through Genki, but it is what it
弟
is.
に飴をあげました。弟に飴をあげました。弟に飴をあげました。
So I gave candy to my older brother. I gave hard candy to my... Wait, Ototo, that's little brother.
弟に飴をあげました。
Sweet, gotta head off, have a good one. Thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. I gave candy to my little brother. Oh,
明
yeah.
日は多分パーティーに行くと思います。
I'll probably go to the party tomorrow. I will probably go to the party tomorrow. Feels like if you watch enough anime, you can understand basic sentences easily. Yeah, you definitely can. And it's definitely a tool that you should use to your fullest. I think I will probably.
明日は多分パーティーに行くと思います。
Tabun, I missed this. I think I will probably go to the party tomorrow. Yeah, I should slow down a
パ
little
ソ
bit.
コンは安くなかった。
Yeah, if you've been actively listening to your anime and you've basically picked up sentences here and there, and you know like handfuls of kanji from various sources, then it's easy to make basic sentences by swapping out those words. Because your grammar isn't really going to be drastically different if you basically replace a noun in a sentence that you already know. Like if, for example, like kono ame wa ikura desu ka? Like how much does this candy cost? You could easily swap out ame for a different noun, and then you would basically be able to form basic sentences. Just for funsies, I kind of want to try a Japanese only stream. Probably in the near future, like maybe during a weekend or something. If I were to do a Japanese only stream, I should probably hold it in a time where it would overlap with Japanese primetime streaming as well. So that would probably be weekend mornings. Because I usually plan my stream schedules for Monday to Thursdays and Fridays to Sundays as 2 separate batches because I'm a new streamer and I can't guarantee that my viewers will be interested in setting aside time like a full week in advance, or they might simply forget about it. So I decided to basically split the week up into 2 bits. Also because the weekend is basically the only time I can stream into Japanese evenings. Yeah. So my content may be a little different during the weekends and the weekdays, but I'll always be posting my stream schedules on Twitter and as the loading image on my Twitch. Yeah.
パソコンは安くなかった。
Pascal wa yasukunakatta. The computer was cheap.
パソコンは安くなかった。
Was not cheap. I think Miss Tanaka will probably come to school. I think Miss Tanaka will probably come to school. Tabun. I can't forget to use tabun this time. This is
学
Gakko.
校
Yeah. This is Tanaka.
田中
Tanaka-san
さん
wa
は多分学校
ni
に頼み思い来る。
Tanaka-san wa tabun gakko ni will probably tabun gakko ni kuru?
思いと思います。
Oh yeah. I wore a purple shirt. This is handbag shots.
紫色
That's purple.
木
That's where.
緑色
That's green.
紫色
Murasaki iro no
の
shats.
シャツを着ました。
Oh yeah. Lunchtime is short. Hiru.
時間半袖ご飯長袖昼
Hiru
ご飯
gohan.
時間
Hiru gohan jikan wa
が長袖半袖 長袖ジャケット短い
が短い
短です
I think that's it. No, what's this? 昼ご飯の Oh, I forgot to. 昼ご飯の時間が I forgot the reading for this. Wait, I forgot the no. Okay.
その丸いボタンを押しました
その丸いのボタンを押しました。
その丸いボタンを押しました
I pressed the round button.
その丸いボタンを押しました
Press the round button.
その丸いボタンを押しました
Round button.
紫色の帽子が欲しいです紫色の帽子が欲しいです
I want a purple hat. Moment of truth. You scored a 2.0 out of 5.0. The next tier unlocks a 3.0 or above. That's interesting. I'm getting so much EXP. Like, I don't understand the point of these leagues, but I think that it's interesting that they gamified it. Yeah, oftentimes for a lot of people, gamifying chores and tasks is a really good way to stay motivated. Especially because Duolingo also has a daily streak. So if you were to use Duolingo in conjunction with something like Wanikani, then it's easy to not break your streak. But what I do is every day I personally set aside a little bit of time to get some exercise, and right after that, I basically cool down while doing Japanese review. I think that's a really good way to keep your body and mind pretty healthy, you know? It's good to get some thinking done in the way, especially if you're out of school and you're kind of just cruising around in your job. Yeah, it's easy to get lazy and complacent, but it's never good to stop learning. Always keep learning. At least one new thing every day. So for these, I don't know what this is all about. Practice plus 10 EXP. I feel Oops, I'm sorry. I feel like I could grind EXP this way and just top the charts. But for now, intro. I'm just gonna be skipping all these levels until I can get to a point where I'm actually challenged.
私
Watashi. Watashi.
私
Yep.
名前
Namae. Name. Namae.
名前僕
Boku.
僕
Me.
私の名前は田中さくらです
My name is Tanaka Sakura. Or it should be Tanaka Sakura. It should be the way that it is like this, but I don't know if I'm supposed to flip the order because I'm translating it to English. I'll find out. Yeah, so either one works, but if you were to convert it into, if you were to actually properly translate it into English, then it would be my name is Sakura Tanaka, because in Japanese, the surname comes first. So, Shigeru. I don't know this kanji, I haven't learned yet.
僕茂る元
Moto.
何もぼ何
So,
ぼ
so these are
元
the vocabulary
茂る
words. Shigeru.
お元気ですか
How are you? How are you? Genki. Genki.
元気
I learned this from Wanikani.
さくらさんは日本語が話せます
Miss Japanese can speak Japanese.
もちろんです
Of course.
すみません
Excuse me. I've honestly studied it on Duolingo despite the other people on the leaderboards quite a few times. Yeah, it really does bring out the competitive nature in some people. Yeah, when I first started with the Duolingo and like the first
私は英語が話せます
yeah, in like the first week I was banging out I was skipping out lessons just because I wanted to top the leaderboards and see what's in the chest and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're a naturally competitive person, then definitely gamifying your language studies can serve as a pretty powerful motivator.
私は英語が話せます。
I can speak English.
ジョンさんはイタリア語が話せます。
John can speak Italian. Yeah.
私もアメリカ人です。
I too am an American. I am also American.
僕の名前は田中茂です。
My name is Shigeru Tanaka.
ええ、もちろんです。
Yes, of course. I kind of want to just bang these out because the more I do intro, I don't think the content really changes. I think it's just repetition, right? Watashi, yeah, it just goes back to the original.
私、
もちろんです。
Of course. Genki.
元気、
こんにちは。お名前は何ですか？
Hello. What is your name? Boku.
僕の名前は田中茂です。
My name is Shigeru Tanaka. Shigeru.
茂、
英語が話せますか？
Can you speak English? Can you speak English? 名前。
名前、
フランス語が話せますか？
Can you speak French? Un peu. A little bit. Write this in Japanese. I am also American. 私
もアメリカ人です。
You can speak English?
私
は
英語話せます。僕話ます。
私は英語が Oh, I forgot to write が英語が話せます。Okay. Yeah, I need to not forget to include the ga and no. Yeah, I have to really make a mental note of that. I have to revisit it later. Can you speak French?
フランス語が語話せますか？
フランス語が話せますか？
名前何？もちろんです。
Oh, is unnecessary here because it didn't say yes. So I messed up again.
私
も
もイタリア人です。
I think having 3 lives is honestly too forgiving, but it is a paid feature. Write this in Japanese. I mean, no, I shouldn't say it's a paid feature because just because you pay for it doesn't mean it should make the process quote unquote easier for the learner because it's kind of cheating your way through it. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with this thing. I think if you want to skip levels, you should honestly have like a maximum of like 1 life or one extra life, where if you get 2 mistakes, you're basically kicked out. I think having 4 lives is a bit excessive because that's pretty much a third of the entire test anyways. Write this in Japanese. What is your name?
Go. 名前は何ですか？
Miss Sakura can speak Japanese. Sakura-san は
桜さんは日本語が話せます。
I didn't forget the ga this time. My name is Sakura Honda. 私の名前は桜 No, it's Honda.
ホンダ
Sakura
桜です。
Have to keep remembering to swap the locations of a surname and yeah. Keep swapping them back and forth. Okay, so skipping a level after the first one is kind of meaningless. I'm gonna move on to the next one. We will make it easy for you though.
Go.
Sure. Go. Nu.
Nu. Po.
Po. No, this is po. Nyo.
にょ
Te. Pa. Ba.
ば く
Ku. Re.
れちゃ
Cha.
バンクーバ
Vancouver.
ー、ストックホルム、
Stockholm.
ニューヨーク、
New York. I like how they split this into two words instead of having one word for New York. That's kind of funny, actually. I don't know why they would split this up. Like, what if I were to do New York, New?
アルゼンチン
Argentina.
モスクワ、
Moscow.
ソウル
Seoul. Okay.
アムステルダム
Amsterdam.
ブエノスアイレス
Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires.
コロンビア
Colombia. Yada yada yada. Ooh, food. This one might be interesting.
ご飯
Gohan. Okay. Yasai. Vegetable. I haven't learned any of these kanji.
コシの料理野菜
Yasai. Okay. Yasai.
茶
Cha. Tea. Chikara.
魚
Sakana. Wait, not chikara. Yeah, sakana, fish.
魚野菜
I should know the kanji. I watch a lot of what's that famous YouTuber's name? Kimagure Cook. If you guys don't know what Kimagure Cook is, I highly recommend checking it out. He prepares a lot of fish and various seafoods and prepares them in various ways, and they all look amazing. I've been binge watching his shows before I go to bed. Yeah, this guy. Wait. So I've been binge watching his shows and I always end up going to bed hungry. It's not a good habit, but it's really interesting. He does fish dissections as well. So if you want to know what the internals of a fish might look like, or what really expensive seafood may also look like, or what really rare seafood tastes like, actually, I would highly recommend giving that channel a check out. What sound does this make?
野菜
Yasai, vegetable.
パンを食べます
I eat the bread.
これは水ですか？
Is this water? これはvodkaです。
ご飯は食べません
I will not eat rice. What is this, a hunger strike? I do not eat rice.
肉と野菜を食べます。
I eat vegetables, meat and vegetables. Meat and vegetables.
お茶は飲みません。
お茶を飲みます。I drink tea. Oh, 飲みません。
お茶は飲みません。
Oh, I blundered.
リンゴは食べません
I was too fixated on the meme.
リンゴは食べません
I don't eat apples. I do not eat apples.
お茶を飲みます。
お茶を飲みます。I drink tea.
ごちそうさまでした。
Thank you for the meal. For the meal.
それをください
Give me that, please. That, please.
それをください。それは水で
That
す。
one, please. Okay, that makes sense.
それは水です。
That is water. That is water.
リンゴをください。
Lingo kudasai. An apple, please.
これはお茶です。
This is tea. これはお茶です。これはお茶です。
では、いただきます。
Well then, let's eat. That was a fun little lesson. Scholar achievement coming up. What's this? I probably shouldn't be skipping the text. I'm too used to playing MMOs. What's my next achievement? Oh wait, there's an achievement for earning 35 crowns. Is this gonna trigger the achievement hunter in me? Is that how this is gonna play out? Am I gonna have to grind for these? Wait, this doesn't look too bad. Read a tip. Follow 3 friends. Oh, well, I'm stuck here already. Finish number 1 in the Diamond League. Wow, how much am I gonna have to sweat to get this? This sounds like a huge grind. I'm assuming it goes plat into diamond, but damn, okay. Finish number 1 in your leaderboard. I could probably bang this out with legendary at the same time. Get every skill in the course level 1. This one might take a little bit of time, but I feel like I could do it. Sharpshooter, complete 20 lessons with no mistakes. Should be doable. Oh, advances Sapphire. Like, so it goes, instead of Platinum, it goes to Sapphire into Diamond. Interesting, interesting. Reach a 30-day streak. This one might be a little bit hard. Sage, earn 2000 EXP, learn 500 new words in a single course. Oh, speaking of this course, I started off in Japanese, but I also want to tackle French as well. But that'll be for another day. Funnily enough, I think my Japanese is probably stronger than my French at this point. Even though I've been living in Canada for so long, it should be the other way around, but I'll have to see. They're either pretty close to each other, or I think Japanese might be a little bit ahead. Ganbatte ne, arigatou gozaimasu. Ganbarimasu. Jump to level 1. Pass the test with fewer than 4 mistakes to jump up a level. Each.
1、
Why does it start off with basic numbers at this stage in the game instead of earlier? It introduces you so many more complex kanji like Gohan and Namae. Okay, Namae shouldn't really be that complicated, but the kanji, the way it's written, is kind of complicated. This is kind of backwards, but okay, I'll have to see.
9時半ちょうどです。9時半ちょうどです。
It's about 9:30. Kujihan.
9時半ちょうどで
No,
す。
it's about 9. It's about 9. It's is
9時半ちょうどです。
no, it is exactly 9. It is exactly 9.
9時半ちょうどです。
Han. I forgot Han. So Kuji, 9 hours, half. Chodo desu. Exactly. It is exactly 9:30. Okay. San.
3、
0、
It
1。
just does whatever it wants. Yeah, it really does. 0 each. 0 1.
3時です。
It is 3. 3 o'clock.
今は7時ちょうどです。
It is exactly.
今は7時ちょうどです。
今は7時ちょうどです. It's exactly 7 o'clock. Oh, I guess it's excessive, I guess? Extra space? It is exactly 7.
5時5分です。
It is 5時5分です。
5時5分です。
It is 5:05.
7時半です。
It is 7:30.
今は8時18分です。
It is 8:18. Oh, it is 8:18 right now. I guess I could have included that. It is 8:18. Okay. Naruto.
0、1、2、
012. 012.
8時です。
It is 8 o'clock. It is 8 o'clock.
今は5時ではありません。
It is not 5 o'clock right now. It is not 5 o'clock now.
4時です。
It's 4 o'clock.
10時10分です。
It is 10:10.
今は4時ではありません。
It's not 4 right now. O'clock now.
3時ではありません。
3時ではありません. It is not 3 o'clock. It is not 3 o'clock.
3時ではありません。
3時ではありません.
5時。
5 o'clock.
今は2時です。
It is 2. It is 2 o'clock. Really? Oh, I guess it is important to include right now because of the imawa.
今は2時です。
Okay, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, this one's my bad. Imawa 2時です. What's this one? Routines? Okay.
毎朝
Mayasa? Every morning? 会社 should be this one.
会社
Kaisha, yeah. Should be company, I think? Kaisha?
朝
Asa. Morning. Mayasa.
毎朝
Every morning.
会社
Kaisha. Asa.
朝12時頃に食べます。12時頃に食べます。12時頃に食べます。
12時頃に食べます。
12時頃に食べます。
I eat at around 12. I eat
12時頃に食べます。
頃に So I eat at around 12 o'clock. Yeah.
私は毎日リンゴを食べます。
I eat apples every day. I eat apples every day. 毎日私は毎日リンゴ私は毎日リンゴを食べます。Okay.
5時に起きます。
I wake up at 5 o'clock. I wake up. I get up at 5 o'clock.
毎日ご飯を食べます。
I eat every day. Eat.
毎日ご飯を食べます。
Rice every day.
何時に起きますか？
What time do you wake up? 何時に起きますか？
何時に起きますか？
何時に起きますか？ What time do you get up? What time do you get up?
8時に学校へ行きます。
8時に学校に行きます。I go to school at 8 a.m. I go to school at... It doesn't really specify a.m. but I go to school. I go to school at 8 o'clock. I see a lot of streamers using the 24-hour military time instead of AM and PM. I'm not sure if that's the norm, but that's how I see it.
午後11時に寝ます。午後11時に寝ます。午後11時に寝ます。午後11時に寝ます。
So this is where PM comes in, 午後。
午後11時に寝ます。
I sleep at 11 p.m. I sleep at 11 p.m. Or should
午後11時に寝ます。
I go to sleep at 11 p.m. It might make more sense to write the go to. Yeah, it does.
午前0時に寝ます。午前0時に寝ます。
午前
午前0時に寝ます。
0時 so that's 0 hour. So that is at midnight.
午前0時に寝ます。
I sleep at 12 a.m. I go to sleep at 12 a.m.
会社
Kaisha? No, it's not company, it's office, isn't it? Oh, it is a company. Kaisha is company, okay.
今は午前0時です。
But then what's the... I mean, I guess this works. Office.
事務所
Jimusho. Right. Right. And company is Kaisha. Kaisha.
会社
Okay.
今は午前0時です。
It is now 12 a.m. It is 12 a.m. right now. My English is falling apart. No, this makes sense too. It is now 12 a.m.
午後10時に寝ます。
I'm not wrong.
午後10時に寝ます。
10時に寝ます. I go to sleep at around 10 a.m. I go to sleep at
午後10時に寝ます。
10 p.m.
9時頃に会社へ行きます。
I go to sleep. I go to the company. I go to the office.
9時頃に会社へ行きます。
I guess kaisha can have different meanings? Huh.
9時頃に会社へ行きます。
I go to the office at 9. I go to the office at around. Oh, I forgot to use around. I don't think the old clock is as important, but I did mess up around.
9時頃に会社へ行きます。
Kujikoro. I keep forgetting about around. You have to pay more attention. Still finish the lesson though. So I think for today's stream, I kind of just want to make my way through this level 1 section. And I think I'll call it a day. Home. What's this?
椅子
Isu?
椅子
Tori. That's bird, right?
鳥犬
Inu, that's dog. Daidokoro.
場家台所
I haven't learned this one yet.
猫
Neko, cat. Roku wa
ロッパ本犬肉ロッパ
Huh.
椅子はあそこです
The chair is over there. The isu wa
椅子はあそこです
chair is over there. Isu wa
椅子はあそこです
部屋はどこですか？
Where is your room? Where is the room?
ペットはいません。
I don't have a pet. I don't have a pet. ペットはいません。
部屋があります。
部屋があります。I have a room. Wait.
部屋があります。
Not I have a room. There is a room. There is a room.
お風呂です。
お風呂です。It's a bath. It is a bathtub.
台所です。
This is a kitchen. It is a kitchen.
鳥が2羽います。鳥が2羽います。
鳥が2羽います。So there are two birds? There are two birds?
机です。
机です。机です。
机です。
There is a desk. It is a desk. It is a desk. Not there is a desk.
机です。
机 desk. Oh, I'm too busy screwing around. I forgot to say.
家はここです。
Yeah, ここです。The house is here. The house is here. Is here. The house is over here. I guess that works too.
庭はどこですか？
Where is the garden? Where is the garden?
子犬です。
子犬です。It's a puppy. It's a puppy.
窓です。
窓です。It is a window. It is a window. Excelente. And then there's intro 3. Wait, since when did we get to intro 3? Oh, I guess this is intro 2 and intro 1 is over here? Huh. Interesting, interesting.
ナオミ。
Naomi. Select the characters for Naomi.
ナオミ。
I'm assuming this is for a name.
1歳。
Isai. It's 1 years old. Tokyo. I don't know this one.
南京。東京。
Tokyo?
東京。
I should memorize this one.
東京。
Tokyo. Kenta. So these are a bunch of names, huh?
高校。5歳。
I guess it wouldn't hurt to know all these
Kenta.
common names. Kenta.
健太。大阪。
Osaka.
いいえ、東京には住んでいません。
No, I do not live in Tokyo. I do not. No, I do not live in Tokyo. いいえ、
いいえ、東京には住んでいません。
東京には住んでいません。
はい、そうです。
はい、そうです。Yes, that's right.
いいえ、違います。
いいえ、違います。No, that's not right. No, that is not right. Oh, wait, I said I instead of no. I blundered.
小学生たち。
小学生たち elementary students. Well, elementary school students, I guess.
ナオミとケンタは大学生です。
Naomi and Kenta are university students. Naomi and Kenta are university students. Naomi と Kenta は大学生です。
大学生ですか？
大学生ですか？ Are you a university student? Are you a university student?
18歳です。
18歳です。I am 20 years old. I am 20... Wait, no, not... I am 18 years old. I am 18 years old. 18歳 I am 18 years old. Yep.
田中と申します。
田中と申します。My name is Tanaka. My name is Tanaka.
よろしくね。
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
ケンタは東京に住んでいます。
ケンタは東京に住
ケンタは
んでいます。
東京に住んでいます。
ケンタは東京に住んでいます。ケンタ lives in Tokyo. ケンタ lives in Tokyo.
そうですよ。
そうですよ。That's right. That is right.
そうですよ。
You know? Do I really have to include you know? I guess it's just another correct solution. Okay, okay. Oh, I'm really close to getting this level 6 achievement. This will probably do the trick.
6個
6個
椅子が1つあります。
There is one chair. 椅子が1つがあります。
椅子が1つあります。
椅子が1つあります。not 1つがあります。椅子が1つあります。There is one chair.
椅子が2つあります。
椅子が2つあります。There are two chairs. Two chairs.
5つ。
5つ。five things.
テーブルが9つあります。
テーブルが9つがあります。So it's not talking about coconuts, it's talking about there are 9 tables. There are 9 tables.
部屋には椅子がいくつありますか？部屋には椅子がいくつありますか？
部屋にはいくつ？
部屋には椅子がいくつありますか？
部屋には椅子がいくつありますか？ How many chairs are in your room? How many chairs are there in the room?
椅子が5つあります。椅子が5つあります。
椅子が5つあります。There are 5 chairs. There are 5 chairs.
机が6つあります。
机が6つあります。I keep interjecting like a ga, but there is no ga. No, there is a ga, but it's at the front and not at the end. 椅子が6つあります。Not 椅子が6つがあります。No, that's not right. Yeah, 椅子が6つあります。
机が6つあります。
机が6つあります。So there are 6 tables. Desks. There are 6 desks. 6 desks.
机が8つあります。
机が8つあります。So there are 8 desks. There are 8 desks.
部屋に3つの椅子があります。
部屋に3つの椅子があります。So there are 3 chairs in the room. There are 3 chairs in the room.
卵を2個ください。
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 卵を2個ください。Please give me 2 eggs. 2 eggs, please.
7つ。
7 things.
卵を4個ください。
卵を4個ください。4 eggs, please.
リンゴを3個ください。
リンゴを3個ください。3 apples, please.
机が1つあります。
机が1つあります。There is one table. There is one desk. There is one desk.
リンゴが1個あります。
リンゴが1個あります。There is one apple. There is one apple.
4つ。
4 things.
卵が1個あります。
卵が1個あります。There is one egg. There is one egg. Easy. See, easy. I could unlock the next level, but wait. Actually, I'll check out the shop afterwards. I want to take this checkpoint quest first. Complete this challenge to unlock the next section. It won't be easy though, with no hints or rating.
Ba.
Select the characters for Naomi.
Naomi. 猫。
猫。
名前。
名前。Mark the correct meaning. No, I will not give up. Yeah, akiramasen. Yeah, what? There is one egg. 卵が1個あります。
卵が
が
1個あります。
I wonder if there's a difference if I use this or this. Probably not.
7時です。
It is 7. I don't have a pet. Pet wa arimasen.
ペットは窓、庭、
Pet wa
ません、いません。今は5時ではありません。
今は5時でありません. It is not 5 o'clock right now. Did I pass it? Oh yeah. Up your progress score. Track how much you have improved since you scored 2. Like, buddy, I didn't learn anything new today. Well, not enough to jump up a few, like an entire level at least. Alright, I don't think so. Maybe I'll try it out later. But the stream's been going on for almost 2 hours. I think it's a pretty good note to end off on, actually. I'm pretty much set to move up to the... what was it? Sapphire League? Wait, before I check that out... plus item, monthly streak repair automatically applies if you lose your streak in the past 48 hours. Streak freeze. Okay, double or nothing. Attempt to double your 5 lingot wager by maintaining a 7-day streak. I could do that. It's like infinite money, isn't it? Okay, yoink. I'll take that. Oh yeah, one thing to note is the Duolingo app and the and the desktop client uses different premium currencies. So the app doesn't actually use lingots, only the desktop one does. And instead the app also has costumes for your bird and things like that. But it doesn't use lingots, it uses a different currency. So there's a slight mismatch. The double or nothing thing, I believe the mobile app also has something similar. It's just that it uses that currency and not lingots. So there is a weird conversion being done over there. It's not 1-to-1. Your lingot wallet and your other Duolingo coin wallet thing are 2 separate entities. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Yeah. And also the Duolingo app has more lessons, especially for Japanese, because the Duolingo app also has sections for katakana and hiragana. So if you're starting from scratch, it would be best to start from there. So you could learn your hiragana and katakana from Duolingo, and then shift your focus over to Wanikani, and then use Duolingo as like a little bit of extra vocabulary on the side. I think that would probably be a pretty good plan for anyone just trying to learn vocab. I don't really agree with the pace that it throws vocabulary at you, because sometimes it's really backwards. Like, you should be learning your basic numbers, not over here. Where is it? Like, not in intro 3, but over here in like intro 1-ish, in my opinion. But yes, I don't understand the learning paths for some of these. It throws some really complex kanjis at you without really explaining to you what each of them means and stuff like that. So if anyone uses purely Duolingo as a way to learn the language, then I feel like they're going to run into a lot of mental roadblocks down the line once they actually get introduced to like kanji that they've seen over here but are used in different cases. I feel like that's going to really confuse people. Yeah, Duolingo is kind of impossible if you don't have a dictionary on hand. At least now without a lot of guesswork, but then with guesswork it's debatable if you're kind of learning anything, because it kind of feels like you're cheating your way through it just to get EXP points. Like, sure, EXP is a powerful motivator for a lot of people, but if it's the only motivator with no punishments for actually getting questions wrong, then you might end up just cheating your way through it. Even though you shouldn't, because you're only really hurting yourself, but yeah, it's kind of tough. I don't know. I actually don't know how I would manage this. I think the current system they have set up is okay right now, though. In terms of life system, I would probably just shuffle some lessons around. Or if anything, I would probably do Wanikani as a primary focus first, and then after you get to like a dozen or 2 levels, maybe hit up Duolingo, and then just burn your way through all of these, until you get to the topics where you're interested in, and then maybe learn those vocab specifically. Yeah, I think that might be a better plan. Learning grammar and stuff from Duolingo is definitely not the play. Yeah, there's just simply not enough details and explanations. But as a supplement, I think Duolingo is perfectly fine. Yeah, and the 2 weeks of Duolingo Plus that it gives you is also a really good way to just basically just burn through all these levels and get to a point where you're actually learning new stuff. And then afterwards you can choose to continue as a free user or not. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And the fact that Duolingo actually gives you the 2-week premium again after you've been away for a few months, that's a really generous move on their part, in my opinion, considering how extensive this platform is. Because I've been away from Duolingo for around 2 months and it gave me the 2-week trial again. Like, that's really good. I don't know if they'll be generous enough to give it to me a third time if I were to quit it. But hopefully this time I won't have to quit it. So today was a pretty fun session. I learned a little bit more about the ins and outs of Duolingo. And I gotta admit, the later lessons are a lot more fun than the starter lessons over here. I'll probably check these out maybe during my own free time. I could probably bang it out to like around level 4. Actually no, maybe not even level 4. Maybe once I get to like level 3, I think after this section is probably gonna be all new things to me. So future Japanese learning streams will probably be Duolingo from here on, and if I have new lessons in Wanikani, I'll probably cover those too. Yeah, so that's just basically me just doing some mental planning. And I also did mention that I wanted to discuss my future plans for JP streamings. I did touch up on it a little bit, but I want to try to focus weekend mornings for streaming Japanese content. Just so I can maybe have Japanese viewers drop in, possibly. I might have to do a lot of like search engine optimization to try to bait Japanese viewers into coming over to my stream. Because I don't really browse around on Japanese forums. Like, I guess I could try to... I think if I turn my Twitter into a completely bilingual thing, it would probably be a good Japanese practice for me as well. It might be a little bit difficult, but maybe I'll try that. Yeah, maybe I'll try that. I probably can't do that with my current level of Japanese without using translators for a good while, but I think that's... Yeah, all these ideas are kind of coming into me right now. Oh, and on top of that, I also wanted to start Duolingo in French, because I am taking French lessons. Yeah, and I think Duolingo would probably be a somewhat decent supplement to it. And it's also a lot easier to use a French-English dictionary for someone that actually knows how to type. And there's also the fact that all the stuff I'm learning in French right now is basically a review of everything that I've learned in the past during my elementary schooling years. But yeah, that's all in the back of my head and I need to really dig it out again, so who knows how it'll go. But I think French learning streams would also be really interesting. The only problem is if I want to stream French, if I want to make French streams targeted at a French audience, like, it's not a problem if I'm aiming for a Quebecois audience, but if I were to aim for like actual European French, the time zones are kinda hard to coordinate. So current time in France. Yeah, right now it's 5 AM, so that's 6 hours ahead. I mean, if I were to stream during my afternoons, I guess I can make it work. It's a lot easier to coordinate European timings than Japanese timings for sure. The only problem is I can't really stream right after work because I have other things that I need to attend to. But during the weekends, if I turn those into like international streaming days where I focus one day on streaming to a European audience and another day streaming to Japan, I think that could work. I'd have to really fix up on my sleep schedule though. Maybe that's a little bit too difficult for me right now. I'm still so busy trying to make stream assets because I still have to make a custom stinger animation, a new intro and outro. I have to expand my song library. I think I found this track on DOVA-SYNDROME today and I think I really like it. I'll probably hold on to this one as a chill listening stream and talking stream BGM. Yeah. And then I have to make a thumbnail for YouTube and stuff like that. But you know, that's my responsibilities. But yeah, I'm excited for what the future of streaming holds for me. Yeah, there's a lot to do. It's good to keep busy. I really like being busy. It's better than having nothing to do at all. Yeah, when you have nothing to do at all, your days kind of just blends together naturally, and then what should feel like a month ends up feeling like a year. But then once you're productive, time flies really quickly. Like, I started planning for streaming since November, and in the blink of an eye, it's already March. Just the things that going down the VTuber rabbit hole could do to you. Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for dropping by for today, and I'll see you guys later. I'll be signing out for tonight, so good night.